Today marks 1 year since the collapse of that five-storey building in George in the Southern Cape. 34 people died in the incident and many others were injured. A memorial is being held today to honour those who died and to acknowledge the survivors. Newzroom Afrika's Sipha Kema reports now from George. Sipha, good morning. I imagine many sombre memories of what happened this day in 2024.
Absolutely, Stephen, and so much has changed when it comes to that construction site a year later. I mean, when we came here, the last time we were here was in November, where the site still had a hole left in that had water inside, but now that hole has been filled up and it just looks like a normal plot. But of course, this can never be just any normal plot, Stephen. This is the place or the site where 34 workers lost their lives, 34 people, fathers, breadwinners lost their lives, and 28 others are left with scars of trauma as well as physical scars. Now, one of those survivors is Shedrick Maine, and Shedrick had to have his arm and leg amputated. And Stephen, his arm was actually amputated while he was still stuck under the rubble, as that was the only way that the rescue workers were able to retrieve him from underneath all that concrete. Now we're going to speak to Shedrick. Shedrick, thank you so much for uthetha nathi namhlanje. But Masqale, I think let's start by uba unjani. How are you feeling a year later? Ulapha kule ndawo, esondele close to le ndawo where you almost lost your life.
Okay, ndiyabonga kakhulu sisi. Manje sisi ngathi ndi-right akufani nasekuqaleni, because now yeah, it's like sendikwazi nokuhamba, sendikwazi nokusenzela ezinye izinto like ukupheka, because senginawo ama-prophys leg and prophys arm. Sisi.
And any pain? You were telling us about your arm still painful.
Yeah, I'm still have the pain on the arm. They call it fundal limb pain. I still have that pain. Just feel like my arm is still here. Yeah, I still have that pain.
Mm-hmm. And also, what about in terms of work? I mean, we know that you're not working and can't work right now. So, what are you doing for survival? How are you surviving?
Yeah, it's very difficult now for my life is very difficult because I'm just being helped by volunteers, the families, because I can't work, I can't do nothing now. So it's very, very difficult now because I can't do anything. Yes.
And also one last thing, Shedrick, how does it feel now being back and seeing that site again today? Because we came here, we were there when you were seeing that site and how it looks like.
Yeah, to be here on that site, this is coming very, very painful again. I remember that day when that accident happened, when I see that site. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Shedrick. That, Stephen, is Shedrick Maine. Shedrick, one of the 28 survivors and one of those who have been left with permanent scars, not just emotionally, but physically, but also unable to support himself or provide for himself and his family as well, because he cannot work. His leg is wearing a prosthetic leg, and then his arm was also amputated. Now, there's a lot of these stories that we've found. Still the same situation when we visited in November, where those that are injured have been left to their own device without any form of assistance to get on by, especially with their families as well, Stephen.